fun so much.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage, and welcome back to Party Thoughts. Tonight, we're going to delve deep into the harrowing saga of the Mayster Defense, the unforeseen journey into the underdark, and the epic siege that reshaped the fate of not only Damaris Keep, but also the entirety of the Old Kingdom. Our heroes' valor had echoed throughout the ages as they rallied the people, toppled a tyrant, and shattered the icy grip of the Hoarfroast Queen, Ivanna Damaris. Join us as we revisit the monumental fall of Anvanth Moonfall. Nice. One of the dreaded 13 Forsaken, whose mastery of illusion nearly spelled doom for our adventurers. Not only was their path fraught with dangers, yielding both triumph and tragedy, but we also need to remember the many noble sacrifices of our party, specifically in this arc, the loss of Ajax, and the near fatal encounters faced by Bianka and Sunni. Tonight's episode of Party Thoughts, we will explore every twist and turn of this 23-session-long arc, Book 8, Chapter 1 through 23. Celebrating the victories, lamenting the losses, and unveiling the indomitable spirit that carried our party to emerge victorious against the darkness that sought to engulf them. But I think what we should do first is I think that we should open up with our clip, our first clip, actually, because what I would like to do is I would like us to revisit the most painful and sad moment of the entirety, so we can start this off on a cheery note.
No warm up.
All right.
Not warming up. All right.
I mean, this was a rough one, so sure.
And there was a lot of stuff, negative stuff in this arc. Don't worry, as I'm sure you maybe saw with some of the clips that I've gathered, there are some rather sweet ones. Most of them are pretty sad, though. Okay.
This arc was happy.
I am happy. Okay.
That's a failing.
So let's go ahead.
Oh,
and
this one.
turn this up. Oh yeah, we're getting there. All right, here we go. So first things first, we have the death of Ajax.
Her DC is 21. Ajax, you take 61 points of necrotic damage.
I like Felicity's face
You
because
see Ajax.
she's seen this happen before.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
another,
That's
with
exactly.
an NPC. That's the face that she's
I
making.
was reliving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ajax.
Standing right next to it too.
Yeah, again.
He does not roll death saving throws. He is dead. At the start of Ivanna's next turn, Ajax will rise.
Watch
as a
Gemma's
zombie.
face.
Gemma's face is the best. Mark is going through it too.
Yeah.
That was. Can we get a replay? Can we get a replay?
Yeah, no, that's...
On
Gemma, we know you're here. Watch
Gemma's
this.
realization of what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
It's pretty good.
I look so
Yeah.
I'm moved.
Yeah, you look desensitized. Like
I am.
Yeah.
I've been through war.
Okay, this isn't important at all, but I just want to get it out of the way. My hair grows very fast.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, look, what the fuck? That's what it. When was this?
This was 5 months ago that I posted this.
What?
Wow. That's crazy.
that happened
Fuck.
5 months ago.
Yeah,
Not
that's,
even half a
dude.
year.
that's especially crazy because it definitely
No,
seems
Thomas Faye, we love you.
like. I just wanted to skip ahead a little bit. Okay, I think Felicity's talking now.
Spencer, when did you have...
things? Yeah, no,
Try-
absolutely banishment.
Yeah, try.
Okay.
I forgot to turn my camera off.
Charisma.
That is a Nast legendary.
Did you
resist
cry,
heal.
John?
No,
Liar.
I asked for that.
Yeah.
What else
He did.
can
That's
we-
right because Cecily
That's not
and
part of her. Never
Sunni were like
D8 plus-
falling at this point.
mind.
So
Mhm.
2d6.
I just wanted to
Fuck. Don't
skip ahead a little bit here
So I'm gonna do that.
to Bianca's
From
next
where
turn.
you're at.
Well, because I have also 15 feet. Great.
Oh.
Because
Gemma's so fast. What?
The snow begins to torrent all around, as opposed to the magic emanating from
Okay,
the dark
okay.
void.
So,
Again,
playback
listen.
speed.
Oh, here we go.
First, can Bianca with
All the
her
plink plonks. Here we go.
eye see a soul for Ajax at all?
It is incredibly
Nope.
weak.
Oh. It's incredibly
And
weak.
if you want me to roll for this, this is fine. But kind of like talking to everybody, I don't know. Can revivify?
Wait, oh yeah. Doesn't
counteract
Bianca
this?
save his soul into the lantern?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or
Oh
actually, in
my
all reality, it would be
God.
something more. It would need to be true resurrection. Or
And
wish.
what is the? Do you mind if I know the contents of True Resurrection?
Yeah, let me pull it. True resurrection.
Because I just didn't want to be too metagame
knowledge
about it.
Yeah.
Of the Raven Queen, you
Because this started. This was the last chapter,
with the
obviously. So this
whole-
started like a whole
Blood Hunter stuff,
thing for Bianca too.
and how Balefire kind of is like a.
Okay.
it crashes all around you. Whatever you're about to do, it is going to be explosive.
Oh, that's right. You've picked it up. Yeah, here we go.
So with that,
Yeah. Also, as
I
John
will
pointed out
give you
earlier,
this
I do have
moment,
the thing
even
still
though you
attached to the
used-
Gatorade. So.
absorb the soul's ash, and I'll give you one attack.
All right.
And if it hits,
Oh my god. What's her AC now? Why am I asking like it matters?
a 27 will hit.
Oh.
Oh.
Bianca.
Are you
You
crying right there,
stand
Felicity?
I don't think so.
Oh.
And I ask you, how do you want to do this?
Look at that.
Woo!
I think as
The
she.
poetry.
Oh man.
I think Gemma. might be.
Cinema.
I think Gemma
I think she
was.
is fainting.
You are
She said she's-
crying!
Oh, I am
You are
crying.
crying.
Oh, you're
watches
crying so
Ajax
much.
I'm crying. And like
Ivana
the
is
rage of.
paralyzed right now from.
I'm doing
character
nothing.
spell.
What am I up to?
Oh, she is.
Paralyzed, but
Well,
it put a difference actually. But...
All right. So yeah, and then
I think
obviously
his essence come
there you
over
go. Oh, here
her,
we go.
a shadow or like his spirit kind of
Oh.
moves with her, guides
With
her
the Bianca
arms,
theme too.
and she's going to, with strength that
That's
she
Hollow
does not
Knight,
have,
right?
leap up
Yeah.
and do his like big old lightning looking thing,
Oh,
and like with like the wing, her Valkyrie wings and everything.
Oh man.
She's just going to right down into Ivanna's
an
heart,
absolute
stab it in there.
powerful
And-
moment.
Yeah. I think just stay there and just making sure, like not moving, making sure it's through her
I
heart.
got confused there for a second. I want you to know because it transitioned. I was like, wait, are
as
we
that
in the
happens,
stream?
Bianca, I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh man. Yep. And then you had to
Is it
make
still
the.
a +2. I can't remember what round
It
we're in.
is.
Fuck.
It was a long combat.
Same
It was a
Gemma.
very long combat. But yeah, that fight was an incredibly tough one. So many twists, turns, so many different legendary actions, and it was a slog to get there. You had the first part of the siege, the second part of the siege, and then eventually you got into the keep itself, and you fought her. Now I think that it's only appropriate that after we relive one of Ajax's most traumatic moments, that we move on to one of Felicity's first questions that she posted for you, John.
Oof.
We've been to the depths with Ajax in this last moment, but from this arc specifically, or from the vicinity of the arc, what is one of the least traumatic things that happened to Ajax this arc? One of his fondest memories, if that's possible.
Yeah, I've thought about this. One of his least traumatic memories was in Mayster, with the daughter and the father, who he helped fix their roof, and then gave the daughter, well, it was a wooden sword and shield because she loved the soldiers so much and she kind of wanted to try to be one. I think it was. That was a great moment for Ajax. That was definitely not traumatic and heartwarming. There was another one. I can't can't remember. Was this in Mayster when Carousel and Ajax had the picnic?
It was Mayster or
Ooh.
Periton.
It was one of
I
the
think
two.
it might have been Periton.
It might have been
So,
Periton.
Yeah, because I think it was right after Ajax took a bite, you know?
Nom.
That's right. Okay. So that one, because everything else in Mayster was traumatic.
Very fair. I think that's a great moment to choose. One thing I want to do now is I just wanted to hear, John, your thoughts on that, because I want to ask a question to everybody in relation to Ivanna, and this is kind of combining one of John's questions and Mark's first question that you guys asked. There were two really big boss fights. The arc started with the fight against Anvanth, one of the 13 Forsaken, and it ended with Ivanna. So we'll start with Felicity. Obviously, it must have been really gratifying to be able to get that final blow on Ivanna, but by far, I think the fight that she got more fucked up in was Anvanth. So starting with Felicity, and then kind of moving to the other two of you, which fight kind of had more of a, Woody pushed your character more, maybe had more of an impact, and had your favorite moments?
Yeah. Well, I do think even though Bianca definitely, I guess it depends on your definition of fucked up, because everyone basically exploded at the end of Ivanna, so
That's true.
you know. But if we're taking what was during like actual like initiative, yeah, Bianca was definitely more fucked up in the Anvanth fight. But I think like because she was down and then in that box, it didn't really push Bianca in any way, in particular, just because she was just like, the taste of death, this is new. While like with Ivanna, it was so much more personal with all like the dead that she had risen to guard her right before the big fight. There was like emotional ties to those zombies, people that they had known when they were alive. The fear of all of her friends dying, even Sunni's like warding bond, which even though I knew more of the context than Bianca did, and then standing next to Ajax as he died, trying to save his soul, doing the radiant explosion with balefire from Ajax's own spear, definitely pushed Bianca more in that fight than just being near death. So that's my answer.
No, I love that. I think that is...
I mean, she got the scars from it too after, so...
That's a good point. And I mean,
Character
also, like, it was... There was a lot bigger of a burden on Bianca in that fight in particular, because it was like, right, her kingdom. It was her throne, her inheritance, and all of her
More
friends
writing
were
on the
there.
line.
Yeah, and they got hurt because of this thing that was, you know, they were a part of, but was Bianca's burden. And they helped her with that. So that makes a lot of sense. What about you, Mark? Where do you kind of fall between those two?
Yeah, I think the harder fight for Cecily was Anvanth. I think she was physically more challenged there, but the emotional burden was absolutely Ivanna. And I think the Mayster stretch of the story was the first stretch of the story where Cecily truly felt powerful. Like she was no longer just getting thrown around by destiny. And in a more literal sense, was level 11. So, you know, she's able to do some cool shit in that regard. But yeah, I think she left the Anvanth fight kind of thinking like, all right, well, we can do anything. You know, we just crushed that Forsaken. We're good. Like, what's saving a city after doing that? But obviously she quickly came to realize that the real conflicts that she would be up against were not things that you could smash. You know, she was going to have to make very difficult decisions. She was going to have to see people get hurt that she couldn't help, because she's not a magical healer and she's, you know, that's not in her wheelhouse. And she also has to know when to fight and when to not, which I think was a really big thing for her in this stretch of the campaign as well. So, yeah, I think the Anvanth fight, like, that was definitely the one where I felt like I, you know, She was on the brink of death. She was pushed to use everything in her arsenal. But the Ivanna fight was very impactful to Cecily emotionally, because she had finally hit at a maturity point in her life where she really understood the weight of what they were doing, and that it wasn't just who lives and who dies in this moment. It was how this fight went down, and the decisions they made leading up to it were going to affect people's lives for generations to come.
I think that's really fair, and that is such a good point, the weight that carries, you know, because I think with fighting some of the Forsaken, it's just a battle of strength, right? Is the light within me stronger than the shadow that has consumed you? And in Anvanth's case, that was totally true. But with Ivanna, it's not just about that. Just like you said, there's so much more weight and stakes to it that make it so much more real. And, you know, it's one of the best ways that as a DM you can engage your players more, is to extend the stakes beyond the player's own well-being. Because with Anvanth, right, it was just you guys that were in harm's way in that moment. But in the siege against Ivanna, it was thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. Their lives were on the line based off of your guys' actions. So I think that's a very, very, very good point. And John might be the one to disagree here, because in the Anvanth fight, he did get to one-shot a dragon. He got to in one round
he did.
execute it. John, where do you lay? Where do you find yourself?
If we're talking about, sorry, if we're talking about the two combats, which one was harder? Obviously, we know which one was harder for Ajax. With Anvanth, it was.
Is it harder if he loses? Like, I don't think that's harder. I think that just means that he.
I think Ivanna cheated.
Yeah.
Actually.
I think
She had walls
emotionally, both of them were very impactful for Ajax. But obviously, everyone knows Ajax is way overly protective of Bianca as opposed to everyone else in the party. He's still protective of everyone, but Bianca holds a special place. He's known her since she was a child. You know, he sees himself almost like an uncle, you know, and seeing Bianca in that box where she was dying was horrible for Ajax. Not being able to do anything. He doesn't have magic. He's just a barbarian fighter. Like, what is he supposed to do against this magical box that even, you know, I believe Caracilla was even having difficulties with it, trying to get rid of it. So Ajax definitely emotionally distraught in that combat encounter. Physically, Ajax was fine. It didn't seem like he was targeted very much in the Anvanth fight, so he was just trying to make sure everyone else was getting out alive. Now the Ivanna fight, same premise. He knew what we were going into. Not only was it hundreds of thousands of people's lives on the line, but it was something very close to Bianca, something that was haunting Bianca, and he wanted to make sure that, you know, we got the job done. Obviously, he, you know, died in the combat. So it's really hard to tell which one. They both hold these large emotions for him. But obviously the Ivanna fight was a lot more difficult.
I think that is those are both very fair points. Yeah, the force cage thing was, I think, one of the skeeviest, most evil things I've done as a DM.
That was rough.
Yeah, where, you know, it's like, I think it's almost worse than the Renshi thing, right? Because with Renshi, it was like some guy with a knife killed him. And that sucked because it felt like you couldn't do anything, but you had no time, right? There was no additional turns. There was nothing you could have really done. With Anvanth, the shitty thing was like, you did get turns. You were able to try, but you couldn't do anything. And I think that is, you know, as a DM, it's always like, there's a danger in taking agency away from your players, but I don't know. I think in that instance, it worked out. Bianca lived, so, you know, obviously.
I honestly, I wouldn't call it agency away for your players. It's just like when you get to, like, this is in defense of the cage, as the one who's in the cage.
Thank you.
It just was, we're at higher levels. If we can do fucked up shit like that to them, they should be able to do it back to us. And like, I think that's the thing. Like, I think Mark, you've said this in the past that D&D 5e is built to let us win. So for a DM to make it harder, just made it like my heart was racing a lot during it. It definitely was like I was like, I need to make peace with whatever happens here. There's literally nothing anyone can do. I was like, I guess this might be where it ends. That's chill, you know? So, but I was okay because it was spicy storytelling, you know? Like, that's a fucking crazy end to a character's, like, story. Like, and then, oh my gosh, what would have happened then with the whole Old Kingdom? And who would I have come back as? Like, you know, that's kind of crazy. Like, the story just would have taken a different turn. So, and it would have put more agency maybe on Ajax as maybe the successor, which I tried to hint at a few times, that he's like,
What?
no. Literally, reading comprehension, I guess, is your struggle.
Live on air, Felicity?
Whoa. I think
Anyway.
we should move on.
I think
Yeah.
we should too.
I think we should. Wow.
And for Mark, being the mediator in that moment, let's move on to something relevant to Cecily. That was the plan anyway, so.
Right.
Let's
Who
go.
is often not the mediator.
For doing what Cecily never could. Let's go ahead and go to a more tender moment for Cecily. Cecily meets Tyr for real for the first time. Whoops.
Nice.
Did you mean?
Nobody else saw that except for you guys. So that was awesome.
Google, show me clips.
Okay.
Standing beside
But-
him.
Oh, hey, Bianca.
yeah,
Yeah.
here.
Look at that.
Yeah, let's
Look
go
at
ahead and video watch time. Yay. Okay.
Must be during the summer.
It was. Yeah. 8
Yeah,
months ago.
I remember wearing that outfit because I had just gone to film a video and came right back and didn't have time to change. And I was like, I guess this is what I'm wearing.
You find
You look nice.
Gee, thanks.
standing beside him, you can see Vondor.
Yeah, this is when he just
As
appeared with the dwarves.
two of them discuss, you can see Vondor hands him a breastplate along with vambraces. And you can see attached to the breastplate there is this fur rim around the collar, this shorter cloak that goes about down to the thighs, about a half cape, and you can see a hood that is attached to the breastplate.
Okay. This did not copy at the moment when I wanted it to.
You
I
can
didn't need the
see
description of the
Tyr
item.
turns to you and says,
I was like, we're going.
"Right on time, Mum."
Oh, here we go. All
You
right.
can see Tyr turns to you
Mubby,
and
Mubby.
says, "Very good. Right on time. I was just about to come and find you." And you can see he looks to you with a smile and says, "The armor is not the same as what I wore many, many, many years ago. Its connection to me has been broken. The magic that lied within now sleeps. It is dormant. It needs someone of my blood that is committed to justice and fairness, same as me. I know you are still on your journey, Cecily, but I have faith in the beautiful young woman you will grow to be. May it protect you from all harm that befalls you, whether it be from the Aesir that would do you harm, or for the demons in that keep. I give to you my armor, the Aesir Bane breastplate."
So go ahead and
Never verbalized this, Joe, but I like how you decided to do
And
Tyr's voice.
Mhm.
Cecily,
He's, like,
as he
Not aggressively Nordic,
hands
like
it to you.
the
Do you say anything
Odinsons.
before you
Yeah.
put it on?
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting distinction.
She'll definitely study it for a moment.
Mhm.
I also like that when your dad shows up, he feels really bad that he's been absent from your life for 16 years. So he's like, magic items?
I got
Please."
you a present.
Still just kind of taking it all.
How old are you again?
He's never really.
Which one are you?
Crossed out,
She's just
crossed out 14 on the birthday card.
Right. Oof.
They didn't have any birthday cards. It says
the biggest
Happy quinceañera.
Happy quinceañera.
Wrong culture entirely.
St. Patrick's Day.
Let me turn
Well,
on the
it won't be
subtitles.
that big
St.
for-
Patrick's Day raises a lot of questions about Illica.
Do not be deceived by its weight. I can promise you it is as hard as dragon scales. As you grab a hold of the breastplate and hold on to it, it is as light as a basket. Barely
That's
has
a
any weight to it.
weird. That's a weird way to phrase that, Joe.
I thought you were gonna say
Way
feather.
to, yeah,
for
way
some
to throw us
reason.
off with the.
I mean, I've never held a heavy basket.
That's also.
That's
I mean,
True.
is it full of
It's true.
things? I definitely have. Sorry, this is not the point.
Still have any-
I mean, armor being light as a feather is.
Oh,
weird.
here we go. This is okay, so all these are just a little bit off of where I wanted them to be, so that's okay. So this is what I really wanted, this part of the conversation.
Do you still have any interest in gardening?
Yes, I do. It was something I loved long before my memories were robbed from me.
She'll kind of take a moment and set the armor down for a second and grab it, the locket by her chest, and click it open. Estrid wasn't around for me for very long. The person I call Mom is here. And she'll show it. She taught me to garden. And then she'll close it and start to motion to the bracelet on her left wrist. And then one of the people we were traveling with, he was called the Boy Lost in Time, a weed in the garden.
Telling Dad about your boyfriend. Good call.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be less shocked later on down the line. By the way, me and that boy.
There's a really funny thing that happens a couple sessions from now where you're like, yeah, Poe was telling me about how the way he talks is like rocky and coarse or something like that. And then Tyr goes, well, I think it's just a boy trying to impress you. Several sessions later,
funny.
he's my boyfriend. Oh, is he now? Oh, okay.
Crazy.
Oh.
And now a third person that has something to do with the garden is giving me something else. I guess I'm saying this because I know we don't really know each other yet. But I think it means something.
Music.
I think when all this is over and I'm living some sort of normal life as much as I can, I think I'm meant to garden.
Okay. All right. That's where I wanted to end that one.
Let's go, Master Builder.
And
Let's
the
she
garden.
never
go.
started.
Master Builder. So Mark, just right off of that clip, question from John: how did you feel after all this time in the campaign, learning about Tyr and who he was, to finally have Cecily have her first real conversation with him? How did it feel as a player to have that payoff from something that was planted so long ago?
Yeah, I think part of what I've really liked about this most recent development with Cecily is Tyr coming into her life is like um that there was like a learning curve with them. Um that felt very real. Like they weren't it wasn't just immediately like last 5 minutes of the Disney movie, like, oh my god, dad. And then like now they're like there was still this sort of like stepdad would not be the right thing to call him, but there was this like, stepdad vibe of like, hey, heard great things, got you a gift, and they're like trying to figure out how to do this thing and make up for lost time. And now they're kind of at a point where I feel like Cecily's gonna just start being whack ass around him because she feels like they're at that level. But yeah, I've really liked that there was sort of that naturalness to it, and I think their first interaction was very interesting because all of the ideas that Cecily had in her head about who this guy was going to be broke down as the conversation went on. She was expecting like, when I finally get this guy back, we are going to gather the forces and build ourselves up, and we are gonna go fuck the Odinson family in the ass. And then this guy comes back and he's like,
Metaphorically.
yeah, sure.
Sure.
I'm taking the 9th level spell, fuck ass. That's my plan. But no, but then this guy shows up and he's like, oh yeah, I'm about 1,000. I like birds. And Odin used to be a really cool guy. It's like, who the fuck are you? But it was, it's something that shocked her, but didn't shock me, didn't shock Mark, because like narratively, it just makes perfect sense that she got what she needed instead of what she wanted. That's story 101. But yeah, it was a huge moment for her, and it was very interesting. So it was like equally cathartic, but it was also like, it wasn't like the end, It wasn't like the grand finale, and I got that big catharsis moment. It was sort of like, well, here's the next issue now that he's back. And the next issue is like, now Cecily, in this final stretch of the campaign, needs to figure out how not to unleash her rage on people that might deserve it. And I think that's kind of her biggest challenge, is to be kind to people that don't deserve it and to be vulnerable to people that do. I think that's what's left for her, and for those just last couple steps.
No, and I think that's like, one of the things that I wanted to have happen with Tyr is I wanted him to be something to help temper Cecily. Because with all of the adults in her life, anybody else read what Chris Hansen?
Yeah.
I was trying to hold it together. I'm sorry.
Because you said the thing about fucking ass, right? And then Chris Hansen
Mark,
came walking
Chris
through
Hansen
the door.
69 in the chat said butts weren't fornicated.
All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thank you, Chris Hansen 69. Nice, by the way.
I like to imagine that's actually Chris Hansen. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. So, no, I agree, Mark, because Tyr, I wanted him to temper Cecily, because all of the other adults in Cecily's life, they, thank you for the follow. Dreamy kind of day. Thank you so much. All the other adults in Cecily's life, they would tell Cecily that she had to do things one way, and then they would follow their emotions like they told Cecily not to do, and then Cecily would be like, what the fuck, guys? Which is a totally human thing to do. But then Cecily finally meets somebody who has that wisdom and is like, I'm so angry at my brother, at Odin, for what he did, but I can't do that because he was a good man and I do love him. And if anybody else has as much right to be angry as Cecily, maybe even more, would be Tyr. Because Cecily got to live, at least. It wasn't a great life, but she got to meet the party. And Tyr died and had his soul captured by Odin, like a Tamagotchi, you know? And when that guy tells you, I don't know if murder is a good idea. Like, Cecily had to be like, fuck, damn it.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
Oh,
But yeah,
maybe.
and I think he ever since that moment too, he's encouraged her to think rather than tell her what to think. And that was like definitely like plus 10 father figure points for her, because like I mean, she's 16 and she's incredibly independent. Telling her what to do is like an immediate, like, you're not getting any further. But yeah, I mean, he just kind of like, I don't know if Tyr has studied dialectics in his time, but he kind of,
He has.
you know, he's able to do that. He's able to be like, here's this big thing that's true. Here's this other big thing that's also true. It seems like they both can't be true at once, but they are. And like, we need to figure it out in the middle. And
Yeah.
Cecily's not good at figuring it out in the middle. It's like, you deserve to live and I want to kill you, so I gotta pick one. But he's been good about kind of, getting her into a middle ground.
No, I'm very glad to hear that. I'm glad that it worked out. For Felicity and John, when it comes to being observers of Cecily and Tyr, like as Bianca and Ajax, obviously there's a bit of a familial bond between the two of you, and the two of your characters. Do you think there was any like feelings that you had that, like, maybe in these moments, seeing how much this is helping Cecily, Ajax was like, I need to try and step it up and be there more for Bianca, since her dad can't, right? Because at that point, right, grieving the loss of his wife, and he's back in Periton, all that stuff. And then for Bianca, I mean, you had kind of been this like caretaker for Cecily for so long. Was there any type of gratification or sadness, that it's like, I don't know, that's a weird thing to say, but like sadness that like, this isn't I'm not the sole person anymore. Like it's like a bittersweet thing, So I don't know, for the two of you, if you had any sort of thoughts that sprung for your characters from the connection between Cecily and Tyr.
I can definitely say for Bianca, because I always felt like she was more of like a big sister, at least from her perspective. Now, whether or not Cecily, Sunni, and Poe saw her more as a mother figure is up to them entirely. I know that's been tossed around a lot, like she is the adult, but I feel like it's been pretty clear that like, despite her being the adult, she's also only 25 and is like, like, I don't know what I'm doing either. She's never had siblings before. She's not a parent. She's never had a romantic relationship. Like, she's so ill-prepared. So as an older sister myself, I definitely been approaching Cecily and hers relationship more from an older sister perspective, where it's like, dude, I get it. Life sucks. I can tell you how mine sucks, but we gotta be in this together, because it was more kind of that of like, we can kind of figure this out together. So I think with Tyr being in the picture and Bianca having a great relationship, not just with Ajax, but with her parents as well, it's definitely satisfying for her to see that person who's able to actually feel and want to stay and like be there the long term with Cecily is very rewarding for Bianca, who loves Cecily, loves her like a sister, and definitely just wants her. And I feel like she said it a few different times, but she wishes Cecily had a normal, loving relationship that she could lean on, and she's hoping that Cecily's able to get that now.
Yeah. John, for you?
For Ajax, I mean, coming into this as the player, and also, Ajax picked up slowly on Cecily's past with parental figures and where she's come from. Ajax definitely doesn't have the full story like I do, but and Ajax just likes seeing people happy, and he's noticed that he's heard about Tyr. Obviously, he's known about Tyr as who he is, but Tyr coming back and seeing Cecily happy makes Ajax happy. I know it's a very simple answer, but that's just how Ajax feels about things like that. It's just like, as long as they're happy, I'm happy, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And regarding with like Bianca, I don't know. Ajax has had that uncle mentality, right? Like he's ever since Periton, definitely probably picked up a little bit of, I need to talk to her more. I need to be around more. I need to make sure things are okay. But also Ajax, not a dad, never had a kid, doesn't know how those things work. I do. Ajax doesn't. So he's just like, hey, you want to train? That'll get your mind off stuff. Like, so I think Ajax seeing Tyr, yeah, it definitely had some little effect of like, oh, okay, that's what that's like. Okay, let me try that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that there is. That's one of those instances where I think metagaming is really okay, right? Because your character doesn't understand what it means to be a dad. But Ajax would have good intuition on what it means to care for somebody who's going through a hard time. And at the end of the day, a good parent is somebody that can do that. Somebody that has empathy and that can understand. And so being able to see Ajax do that, not just for Bianca, but for everybody. I mean, it speaks volumes of his character, right? That he's not just this edgy Batman figure that'd been existing in the Old Kingdom for so long, and
Not anymore.
not anymore. That he is really this kind of goofy Uncle Iroh like guy, who just loves people and wants them to be happy. And even though he can, rip apart a bandit in a few swings, like, he's not scary. He's only scary if you make him angry.
1v1 a dragon.
1v1 a dragon. Yeah. Okay, speaking of adults doing things that they probably shouldn't, that confuses Cecily, let's move on to the polar plunge, why don't we? Which, Felicity, this is something that you and I organized for several weeks, where you had
My hair
this
changes
idea.
again.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah, it has.
Wow. Before the cut.
11
This is
months.
before
Yeah.
the
Oh, I
cut.
still have my cat ear headphones. Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of children, I will be right back. Continue, but
Of
she's
course.
licking the side of her crib and throwing stuff out. So
Sounds like
I'll
it's
be right
dad
back.
time.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So the polar plunge. Now, this I thought this was a really cool moment, right? You wanted to confront Ivanna in some way, and I loved your approach here. But it's so funny to me because it is, in theory and in practice, such a bad idea.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's an awful idea.
But people with emotions, they do crazy things.
Mm-hmm. And then she will remove the mommer and she'll set it down. And start to pull at her hair and rub her face. I can't, but rub it intensely.
Yeah.
Makeup. Gotta keep the makeup on.
That's true. Yeah.
Then picking up some of the fire or the flaming sticks with her hands, she will scream, roar, and throw it down on the ice and just start banging the ice until it starts to break.
Okay. So as you do that, Ajax, you see her begin to scream and yell, banging the flaming stick into the ice until eventually it begins to break and crack until there is this sizable crater that is almost ready to just break with just a little bit of pressure. And you hear from a short distance away a voice echoing out in the small little valley where the river passes through. As Bianca, you hear Keothi's voice. Bianca. I forgot Keothi was a part of this.
I know, because we brought her back. It was like complicated with like not bringing back the Mong and bringing back
We need
Keothi.
to talk.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And they hadn't talked yet.
How big is the crater?
Right now it hasn't broken open yet. You've been slamming into it, and it looks like all you would need to do is stand on it, and it would break and you'd fall in.
She looks in Keothi's direction and then walks out on that ice.
Okay. You stop screaming, you stop yelling. And you step. And as you do,
Point out
you
Carosilla
are...
apologizing to Cecily in the chat.
Submerged.
What was that about? Does anyone remember?
That was the Draven Hunt situation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god! Wow, this session was
This was
awkward.
a spicy one.
Yeah.
Wait,
This was-
did she literally persuade Dravenhunt to start walking in a
No,
direction
she cast
right before this?
suggestion, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
right, and convinced him to just start walking away. And then
15
Cecily
minutes
was
ago.
It was like,
so you're
Alright.
supposed to be my emotional mentor, right? You're supposed to practice regulation. Okay, wow, what a thick session this was.
mm-hmm.
into the
Bro.
water. You
Look at those sound
fall
effects, that's crazy.
far until eventually there is running
You're good at
water
sound
underneath
effects.
the
Yeah,
ice.
good water.
And
He
Wait, what did I
smells
say?
you
to
can
this
still
day.
hear
What did I
the
say?
wind
You said you
above
have sound for water?
Oh,
As the water you dive into is frigid,
Put on the
ice
subtitles.
cold. You can feel it not just in your bones, but in your
Synonyms.
soul. That chill.
Synonyms are great for painting the picture.
Chill.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one.
The cold.
It's me trying to find Ivanna's motif.
The cold on your toes.
Yep.
You
Cold
remember
toes.
it working its way up. You remember the fingertips, that icy bite, that stain on you, that watchful eye that followed you,
are you still trying to find the music?
that
I think it's
evil
playing.
presence.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It is playing, yeah. You can tell because I'm not taking as many pauses,
Well, you've been in the old kingdom.
and I'm
mm.
not using as many synonyms. I'm just going.
Why
now.
am I so angry?
And here you feel
Why
closest
am I-
to
I think you're confused. That's your confusion.
Hold your
I
breath
just looked at your.
Oh god.
and open
That's
your
what I look
eyes
like when I'm
above the water.
confused?
Well, you're thinking
That's-
really
see
intensely and you're
almost-
listening.
Oh
It
god.
looks like a world of
That's
icy
off-putting.
mirrors
I didn't know I looked like that when I'm
reflecting
thinking.
you and reflecting someone else. Oh, long gray hair, blood red eyes, and pale gray skin, wearing incredibly decorative and formal armor, a long cloak of white and blue. An air about the way she walks and looks at you, where you can't help but feel small. As she speaks to you, as she says the words that emanate from her mouth, they echo in this space. So,
The echo.
face to face with me. This is what you are. A broken and scared little girl.
Oof.
But true.
You think you're fit for my throne?
Yes.
Do you know
Not
what
in that
you
moment.
are, Bianca?
Alive.
You are a mutt.
Okay, Joe.
You are not meant to sit on my throne. Your
Oh, and the music.
father
Paid actor.
made so
What the fuck?
incredibly sure of that with his deviation.
Are you dancing?
I am, dude. Bopping.
Biggest mistake could have
Oh,
ever
see,
made.
now I'm angry. Okay, that's a different face.
His folly.
She called Bianca a butt.
Now we gotta kill her. Before we weren't sure.
So
Yeah, no, I was lukewarm on the whole thing.
is
But
Wait,
it
what
really
did I just
mirrors?
react to?
Is she
My face
swimming?
got all
Like,
kinda
what is,
contorted.
like, the actual reality.
Because
around
I
her?
insulted her mom.
It
I
is
was
very
like,
strange.
the
Oh.
worst thing your
Yeah,
dad
her
ever
dead
did was
mother.
marry your mom.
Ice
Oh, then
and
I would-
I mean,
water
that's
rushing
pretty-
past you, but
pretty
you
sick
can
That was
see
cold.
reflections of yourself
Just
and
like
of
the
her
lake.
Yep,
all
just
at
like
once.
her.
There are hundreds of you, hundreds of her in this.
I
icy
remember
realm
Bianca's
beneath.
reaction was pretty spicy.
the
so I
water.
wanted to-
Okay,
Was
yeah.
it?
think so.
think in whatever capacity she's able to move,
I remember she made a dumb
can.
choice.
As soon as she finishes that last line, she's going
Wasn't
to
it
like
to swing
dive
towards
at
her?
like aiming
Yeah.
to like reach for her, almost like going for the throat kind of thing.
Oh yeah, see, yeah. As you do, you go and you reach and you go to
Mark,
grab,
like,
and you can feel your body
yeah.
begin to freeze up.
I was like, yeah, she might die.
Oh, yeah.
Contemplating life.
And then you
Mark's
just
like,
slowly begin to coast towards
Wait a
bad
her
moment.
choice.
as she says,
What are all of the adults doing exactly?
We're going crazy.
Well, these are my role models.
all of what you've done, killing a Forsaken, and yet this
No small feet.
This is what you are? Some poor little girl who lost her mommy and throws a temper tantrum.
Oh!
It's fucked up, bro. It's fucked up.
Rude.
And Bianca,
chicken's
you
mad.
can feel that anger beginning to course through you. You can
I
feel
wonder if you had that chicken.
yourself maybe beginning to break
Call you
through
Carrot
that
Top.
ice, but
Prop
you
master
can
over
also
there.
feel yourself getting pulled deeper.
Wasn't this the
and
same
deeper,
session that
swept up
Cecily
in
was
the current.
making little fire
Further,
tornadoes or
further,
whatever?
further you go down into the water.
I think that was earlier.
So my question to you is, do you want
You
to
guys-
go for her,
I remember that,
or
though.
if you look up, you can see that hole that you had fallen through.
Oh yeah.
I think
Why is there a
would-
there?
Because
at first
Bianca's
start to pull
making
her hand
bad
back,
decision land.
realizing that,
she's in her reputation Taylor Swift
you know,
era.
she's kind of like starting to drown a little bit. and,
Yeah,
like,
just like that.
not confidently, but
Yep.
like start to make her way up. She's not like set on that decision to try and get out with the
Bianca
hole yet,
is
but,
just
like, that's where
only
she's
bad
starting to head. Like
decisions.
her better like the better half of her brain knows like that is the smarter move.
I have a question.
80% of this party is just bad decisions.
Yeah,
How long has
that's
it
why we
been
die so
since
much.
Bianca has been
Yep.
underwater.
And 20% refusal to make a
5
decision in a
minutes.
timely manner.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say
15
5
second mark,
minutes?
There's a lion paw.
Oh, I thought you said
going
5
into the
minutes.
hole to grab Bianca. Because he doesn't want her to freeze. to
80%
death.
of D&D's bad decisions.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, I forgot that
So,
leading up to this, Ajax took her out here and was like,
Yeah.
just yell.
Yeah, he was trying to help her get out her emotions. She's like, bet. I have a
And then
worse
she
idea.
dove into the lake. Yeah.
Not what
And
I
he was
said.
like, I did not see this coming.
No, the polar plunge was quite the moment that I'm very glad we did, you know, because it's always nice to be able to have more involvement and more what's the word I'm looking for here? Like integration of villains from an earlier point in time. That's why I loved having Ivanna fight you guys in Fort Ivar.
Right.
Because it was a little taste before the siege started that you were able to like see kind of what she could do outside of her lair. And I thought that really kind of encouraged some interesting strategies because you kind of knew what she could do. Just because it was that same session, I was going to answer a question from John, which was, would Draven Hunt still have turned back to the dark side had Carasilla not magically persuaded him to walk? If so, how long after everything would that have happened, or was he already aware of everything and just gathering information? So, here's the interesting thing about Draven Hunt, is with a lot of the things that I do as a DM, I don't know. Because I just kind of do things. With Draven Hunt, though, my idea initially was for him to be able to find redemption. Because I liked that for him. I liked all of the awful things that he did for him to be able to get that in some way, shape, or form. But with Draven specifically, I wanted to have it be that he was too prideful. He was too envious, that no matter how hard people tried to help him, he would always slip up in some way, shape, or form. He'd always want more. You know, if he did become a hero, he wanted to be more heroic. He wanted to do better. He wanted to be more famous than the Wanderers. He wanted more for himself, right? That's why he showed up to Mayster with all this stuff. He wanted to be better than the people that came to save the town. He's here to be better, to be the hero, to be the good guy. And so for somebody like Dark Emerald to be able to change him and persuade him and make him a puppet is super easy. All right, that's the whole weakness with Dark Friends, and that's what the Dark One is so good about awakening in people, is those desires that they have to be better, to live longer, to want the people that want more, right? And they're never happy. Those are the type of people that become Dark Friends, because if they're not happy in their life with the things that they have and the powers that they have, and some other entity comes to them and says, I will give you that power, I'll give you that ability to be better, you just have to help me. Most of those people say yes, and Draven Hunt is one of those people. He will always say yes, because he always wants more. Was there a path for redemption? Maybe. But, I mean, had Carasilla not done it, then it probably would have happened eventually anyway, you know. That's the biggest thing with Draven. Which I really like him as a character, and I'm excited for you guys to maybe have one more conversation before eventually he gets fucking clonked. And schloiced and electrocuted and all the other ways that you'll...
Big dead,
big dead'em, you know?
Hammer time.
Hammer time.
Very interesting, too, because it's like between the poles of absolute good and absolute evil that we're dealing with in this giant campaign, there's all these grays, you know? And I like what lessons do our characters take from learning that some people are unsavable?
Yeah.
And that, you know, like the Dark One just got this guy. And, you know, and for Cecily too, it's like, what good is forgiveness of somebody who doesn't deserve it if they just do it again?
Yeah.
You know? And I like that. Like, what lessons are we going to take from Draven, and are they going to be the right ones? You know, I think it adds a lot more to it. You know, that like the broad stroke of the story is like, we are the good ones, those are the bad ones, let's get them. But there's so much going on in between that.
And I mean, that point is exacerbated even further when you think about what Isles just did. You know, I mean, not just did, but they were able to help redeem one of the Forsaken. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm out of the loop on this one.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about, obviously we're not talking about Isles here, so we don't need to linger on it too long, but you want to talk about something that threw me through a fucking loop as a DM, you know?
Hello, that was my idea.
Like redeeming characters and how you can sway them. I mean, the whole point with Draven and with any of these Dark Friends is nobody is too far gone. Nobody is. It's just how much help do they need and how much do they need to help themselves to get out of it, you know? And that's the thing is most of them can't help themselves. They'll take all the help from other people, right? Draven literally was given a clean slate, deleted his memories, reset from 0 by Hrothgar. And he was guided by Keothi and the Goliath, some of the most people that are full of more light than anyone else. I mean, they're given life by a primordial earth goddess, you know? Like, that's how they live. That's how they're brought to life. And even guided by them and you know, brought to this point of redemption, he still couldn't do it. He still was not able to help himself enough to get that redemption.
Yeah.
So
I always say you can throw the ladder down the hole, but you can't make them climb.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's like if
Exactly.
if one of the 13 climbed and one of the children of flame didn't, what the fuck do we do about it? You know, is he
Yeah.
gonna help
The
himself?
true questions.
Yeah, honestly, the Odin one I think is the one that is the biggest question mark in the Salamander Coast campaign right now. Because
Yeah, because
Yeah, I
I could,
don't-
at this point,
I don't know
could
either.
either see it going the pure redemption route with Odin, where he reunites with his brother, and they, you know,
Or
They
the
make
God of War
amends.
Ragnarok.
or the B route, the less desirable but more likely route, that we unify the entire family against him, and then it's a slug out.
yeah.
That's not a word.
Hey, an absolute mollywop, you know.
There you go. A
There it
Donnybrook.
is.
All right, so let's move on from a sad discussion to a more heartfelt, happy one. As one of the more tender moments. Yeah, your hair does change again.
This is insane.
One of the more tender moments of the campaign, as we move to the gift from Sunni, all of the flowers. Such a sweet moment, very thoughtful, very
Aw.
caring.
I'm sorry that I was so late last night. I hope I wasn't worrying anybody. Had some less than fortunate news that I heard about that really kind of took a toll on me.
Real quick for context, I feel like I should play the other clip.
Oh yeah, we have to stay sad for a little bit.
Yeah. So the unfortunate news he got was
All alone.
was this situation
Oh, same session.
moments before.
You hear
God,
a
I'm
voice
pale as shit right now.
beckon out.
We all do. We're very white in this session.
What did that guy at the
Well.
pizza place say?
Look,
I'm the whitest guy.
look how far you've come. As you sort of turn and look, you can see Emerald. White and gold. regalia.
Felicity's face.
I was not expecting it.
Yeah. Well, we also too, as soon as that happened, I remembered the time Emeriel told us, "If I
Long
come to you
ago,
first,
I
it's probably
would
not
have-
me."
Mhm.
Which-
Mhm.
Never imagined with what I saw in the pattern my student would be capable of.
This is dark, bitch.
Yep.
What are you doing here?
Nice.
I could feel your guilt, your pain. It echoed throughout the pattern, and
Bitchill.
Bitch are real.
Oh, sorry.
I
said it
want
wrong.
you to know, Sunni, truthfully, you are a monster, you know.
Felicity's face again.
Your face too.
Yeah.
Look at me side-eyeing Emeriel.
You're about to
You are. A
go to
monster.
Joe's place and hunt him down. That's-
From the first day
And I do know
began
where you live.
training you all those years ago. I saw.
He did kill kids, Gemma
I
said.
saw what you were capable of.
I mean,
Your
yeah,
lust
but
for things that.
A few kids. What about it?
I mean, right now.
in
it might
game for
be
clarity.
Yeah.
Things that
Chris Hansen's gonna come after us.
It
yeah, you got some real
might
dirt.
Why don't you have a seat right there for me?
things
Sunni, I
you
have
just
here
wish to have.
chat logs between you and a
think it's
Desmond
not fair,
O'Malley. Wow, killing
Think
those
it
kids
never
was fun,
stopped.
wasn't it? You say,
Time after time.
yeah, it
after
was.
time.
What do you have to say about that?
Teach me more.
Dollar
Let me
sign
learn.
emoji.
Give me more. You were a mistake.
Nope.
You know, I hate it
One
when
that
Joe
Bahamut
stares
should
at
have
the
let
camera
grace.
when he's
Explain,
into
do you
it. When
hear
he's laser focused, he stares directly into the
Yep.
camera, and you're like,
Very
I
low
don't
level.
want to look at you right now.
Good.
It is hard because you want to like
There's no
avert, you want to like
problem
hide
with
away and be
hearing.
like,
What
no,
was
that?
I'll get you
All
next
those
time.
years ago,
It's
Also
even
know
worse.
to do something.
We're not
I
talking
need
to
you
a
to
good
deal
person
with
when he
this
switches to this track.
How many
That's,
questions did you
that's
have?
usually the sign.
It's always
Too
worse
many.
too because his
You're just
glasses do
supposed
the Sin
to
City
listen.
thing.
Oh yeah,
So if you're listening now, hear me.
anime glare.
Yeah.
You are a monster. You are a mistake. The
Ooh.
best thing that you could do for your companions, for this city, is to kill them. So that way they
Logic.
don't have to be as embarrassed
1
as
plus
I was
1
when
equals
you
2.
inevitably fuck up.
Yeah,
sense.
literally Felicity
Logic. You said the same. We haven't changed.
The same person.
Do
That's
you
great.
follow me,
Apparently,
or do
my
you
hair
have
is the
more
only
fucking
change.
questions.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
No. I'm not a monster.
Oh,
I'm not.
sad Cameron makes me sad.
Why don't I show
Yeah,
you?
he rolled
How
a
about
4
that?
on that one.
Do you think it's just that temple? Do you think that temple is the only fucked up thing you've ever done?
I like every time you
Sunni,
say
the
fuck.
Forsaken.
YouTube's captions
Wouldn't it be so much
is
easier to
bracket
bury the
underscore
past
bracket.
if it was one
Yep.
mistake? Oh no. No.
These captions have gotten so good. Y'all remember a decade ago? They were like,
Mhm.
once more found thing you
Sunni.
do.
As he reaches out towards you,
Even
you can see
spelt
these
Sunni correct.
threads
that's
of
Crazy.
black and gold extend from his hand. They wrap around your face, and you feel yourself begin to suffocate as these tendrils move underneath your scales and cling to your brain.
Oh.
Ooh.
As you witness
Oh.
thousands
My face.
of atrocities. There is no need for me to describe them because some of them are beyond description.
Pro tip for
Yeah.
DMs: if you don't want to describe something, say that. It sounds really dramatic.
It does sound terrible because it makes
Just,
our minds
use
go
it
to the worst
sparingly.
places.
Yeah, the players are the ones
Yeah.
that start coming up with stuff.
Don't
Gotta
use,
use it sparingly. You
don't
can't, you can't
use
every session.
Yeah.
You did it
You
something so
enter-
bad, I can't even describe it.
I
You
can't
enter a
say it
cavern.
because
The
this
room
video. Could
is
you imagine?
undescribable.
Could you imagine if I went? I literally cannot describe them because this video will be taken down by Twitch.
Oh my
Like
Oh,
break the
God.
fourth wall in that way.
damn.
Be incredible.
We
I've always
won't be
wanted
able
to
to
break-
monetize.
I've always wanted to play a villain that fourth walls my players. Just like, do you really think you know what you're doing? Joseph Kunkel.
I'm scared. Pumping
I rolled to stab you in real life.
Oh man! Also, thank you to Lolly Yee Time and Kid Kazo for the subs on YouTube. Be sure to tune into Twitch for your things. Oh, this is going to go on YouTube, actually. That's crazy. So you'll see this if you watch this. All right. So anyway, we received our context for why Sunni said, I had a rough night. I was a little out of it.
Talk about all of
guys.
that when there's less going on. But I want all of you to know how much you all mean to me. And that no matter what, you, each and every single one of you, make me a better person. And thank you all enough for that. And he's going to go up to everybody individually, and he's going to hand them a small bouquet of flowers that's kind of done together with a platinum ring. And each of the flowers are specific. So Sunni doesn't know the names of these flowers, but he's going to give Bianca a little group of purple irises. Cecily, a little bouquet of white roses. Carasilla, a little bouquet of balloon flowers. Ajax, a little bouquet of bee balms. And if Keothi is here, a little bouquet of magnolias.
I was searching all of these as he was saying
And you'll
them.
tell everybody, if you
Except for
wear
white
those
roses.
rings, while we're fighting together, if we're near enough, it might help me protect you. So, if you all could put them on.
Well, shit, yeah, I'll put them on. It matches my color scheme.
Mine as well.
That one's big enough for you, Ajax.
I can't believe you knew my ring size.
Oh.
Really well right here.
So yeah, now I have the ability to cast Warding Bond on each of you.
What a
if I
dumb
miss.
thing to say.
What is Ajax's ring size? 38? Like,
I wanted to have in my
It's an
arsenal for
anklet.
a while, but I didn't know if I had the rings or the capacity to get them. So, and also, if each of you would like to, the flowers are specifically chosen. If you want to like look up what they look like, if you want, I can write them down so you guys can.
Yeah.
I'll have them. But that was it.
Yeah, what was mine?
Ajax?
It was like
It was like
Bobos or
baubles.
something.
BALMS.
Bombs.
I'll write them down.
Yeah, it was very sweet. Cameron put a lot of thought into the into it. And see, we have
It's
fun
beautiful.
around here. It's not just all sadness.
Yeah, now sometimes we have fun around here.
yeah. Sometimes we give each other gifts before we might all die.
And sometimes we just yell at each other
Yeah.
Yeah.
in character.
And sometimes we just still all die. So let's go to another clip.
Eventually.
Caracella's assassin. Well, thank you, Shane, for 40 months. Wow. Look at that. That's awesome.
RWA watching RWA.
Yeah, we're a reaction channel now. Get used to it. It's where all the money's
Yep.
at.
No one
We're
else
always
will, so
so-
we will.
Phase 1 was to create enough content to do this, and now we're just going to coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, and then we can
Full-on
do
reaction videos.
rebroadcasts of this.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
us react. Yeah, makes sense.
Reacting to our
Become
reactions.
true
As
Twitch
long-
streamers.
As long as we own all the IP, we can lay off the creative team,
Yep.
and we can just
Wait, hold on.
rake it in.
All right. So anyway, Caracella kind of almost dies here.
You
Right.
see, not see, you hear
Yeah.
this
Good job, Joe.
tone. Not of
Those are two different senses.
not of a hurdy-gurdy,
You taste no.
but
you
a
feel no.
tone of brass,
Go
ringing
through
out,
them all.
echoing across the hills and mountains.
It's a dream.
A tone low and rumbling. And you can see those
Am I wearing the same shirt?
bodies that lay to your left and to your right.
That's funny. I might be wearing
It's
the same
okay.
one too. You just can't
I
see
am
it with the
too.
hair.
You see two realities,
wrong shirt.
as
There
if
you
a
go.
piece of glass
That's-
split down the middle.
I'm wearing the same
One
shirt. too.
reflecting one path, the other reflecting another.
Man, I almost pulled up
On
my
one
undershirt. That
side,
was
you
crazy.
see the bodies begin to slowly
That would've been
stand
awesome.
and rise.
That
their
was going on the
skin
Patreon right there.
cracked
That's-
lifeless.
By the
Alright,
way,
shh,
guys,
Caracella's
he
about to
picked-
die.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is so serious. We're not talking.
Everybody shut up.
bodies.
We don't know how to do a talk show.
Begin to slowly stand and rise, their skin cracked with ash and soot. Lifeless corpses set upon destruction and devouring. In the other side, you see not the bodies rise, but these glittering spirits of gold begin to shift from the broken forms. You see them rise. And the glittering forms of gold look to you. Forms of faces you know. The men and women that fought by your side. Their forms are temporary. They are translucent. But in that moment, they're there, ready to heed your command. You look upon the two paths that lie before you. And one final image appears in your mind. A long, curled, wooden, inlaid with gold and silver horn. You have no idea what it is.
My
Or
current
where it
face
is.
was, I know what that is.
You feel a connection.
I also just finished God of War Ragnarok. I know what
Yeah.
That's item.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna know what happens in that game in 3
See?
weeks.
Item.
My message.
Important. And Carasilla, right as you are about
Oh,
to
here we go.
truly achieve something with this dream, you can feel a connection.
Come on, you can do it.
That golden glow, that brazier return, that reaching for that golden light is cut short. As Carasilla, what's going to happen? You feel this sharp
Finding
pain
music.
in your stomach.
Got it.
As your eyes shoot open in the evening, you can see the fire burning off to the side, and you can see looming over you, Carasilla, this human, this thing, twisted features, its face shrouded in tendrils of purple and
She's so
gray
happy about it.
and black. As you can see the dagger stab through and pierce into
Gemma
your
does that when
stomach.
she's in disbelief.
Right
She
at that
smiles.
Yeah.
Carasilla, as your eyes shoot open, there's this yelp of pain. Cecily, that was right about the moment that you would have woken up, and all of you hear that sharp cry of pain coming from Carasilla. Now, before anybody can do anything,
This is damage.
gonna roll some damage.
Here on RWA, we really love stabbing players when they're sleeping.
I was gonna say, yeah, do we have any of our long rests fully? Oh
Nope,
my
didn't
God.
long rest.
Okay, that's fine.
Carousel was really low on hit points too, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same crit rules that you guys have against monsters. So
Also moved to kill a player in their sleep.
Yeah, Priscilla.
okay,
Gemma's laughing because she's nervous.
No, we just had a good conversation. Don't do this.
And Draven's gonna come back and be like, "Where is she? What
I
the
love-
heck?"
I love the no long rest trope, man. I'm hype.
I didn't realize I didn't take
Carousel
any
eye.
damage in the last fight.
Such a
Lucky you.
villain.
The two squishy ones.
Just me flexing,
you.
dude. Fucking
Carousel.
0 damage dealt.
See the
you
guilt.
are going to take
Bite
Oh,
my
there-
nail,
yep.
I'm nervous to say
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
122 points of damage.
Holy
What did I say?
122.
122.
122
You're like
points of damage.
Holy
What the fuck? Oh my god.
You can see me up there doubting what I just said. It's just like, you know,
We don't use that rule. That's a 3.5 rule or a 4th edition rule. The hit point.
What, that like...
Yeah, the hit point maximum.
Oh man!
Total,
Oh,
and
thank
then
you,
your
Stoic
damage.
Dreams, for the follow and the sub with Prime. That was so nice of you. Thank you so much.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
thank
would
you.
have to do some maths
He
there.
saw- They saw. Whoa! That DM did 122 points of damage to a player in their sleep. Let's go, buddy.
Yep.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Carousilla lived. Carousilla lived. Bianca accidentally
Somehow.
shot a civilian right
Yeah.
after this.
This was the end
I have a
of the
question
gun
about that.
era.
Yeah.
You
I
do.
know, I read it.
We will get to the rapid fire ones at the very end. So thank you, John.
Oh, it was a rapid fire?
There's a
Whoops.
rapid fire. Yeah, it was a rapid fire. Okay.
What's a gun?
Yeah,
I hate that.
guns have collateral. Guns don't own collateral. They cause collateral damage. I figured I should make that clear.
Thank you for the clarification.
But Carousilla did live from that moment. She did
Yeah.
live.
Just
But
what
had a
the hell
tummy
you-
ache for so long.
She had
Yeah.
a widowed tummy ache for so long.
Just a little one.
But
Aw, it's the
What
dark
will we-
one in your tummy.
but then eventually Carousilla does get a little lucky because she gets a little bit of one-on-one time with Malice in a dream in the Underdark. Now, in our little chat, I put this as Carousilla dreams of mommy milkers. That's a bit of an inside joke. Between all of
You
us.
know-
I didn't
you
mean to
didn't-
say that.
You didn't have to
You
say that
didn't.
at all.
There's nobody.
Why are you defending a thing you didn't have to bring up?
Yeah.
Because so
No one sees that chat.
I felt like I had to. I had to be honest, you know. I am not a fraud. I am not a crook. Okay. All right, let's check it out.
This mighty caravan of drow soldiers, of powerful archmages, driders, and other horrid creatures. But leading them all is a woman. A woman whose visage has not changed at all from this time in a bygone era
Didn't
to when
do my
you
vocal
saw her
warm-ups beforehand.
in the sewers
Yeah.
of Bromsgrove.
This is
You can see matron Malice Baynir moving throughout the city.
The memories.
People bow and genuflect in her honor.
Hey, that's a good word. Genuflect?
You
Fucking
can see this
use that shit.
Genuflect
smile
is-
curling across
I like
her face.
genuflect more than memories.
But that is not what removes you from
fair.
this world of dreams you live in.
Oh, this is spoopy.
As she smiles,
Memories would
looking
be a
at all
good
of her
Scrabble word. You can chain it with man.
followers. Her eyes graze the crowd.
It's your Scrabble fact of the week,
She
guys.
looks to you.
Oh, look at the camera.
She looks directly at you.
Joe looks directly at you
And when she looks at you,
for the
that
third time.
pain grows deeper.
Mommy and I are making eye
Twist
contact.
in your stomach intensifies
The tummy ache.
Tummy
as she sees you.
I see you.
She sees Carousel.
It's a Lord of the Rings reference for those of you playing at home.
Gemma's eyes are like, excuse me?
And all she says is,
So
"You are not supposed to be here." A snap. Falling.
why do I make faces?
You jump away.
That's a pretty good one.
You look
That's
like,
a good one.
you look like your face. Somebody just used like one of those pizza rollers on your face and
Oh, go back a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, let's go back frame by frame here. Oh,
Oh no, no.
oh. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Just rolled out.
I love it.
Man, that's fantastic. So yeah, we get her staring at memories there. Malice. This is Bianca's great grandma.
That was like an aunt.
Is she an aunt?
No.
Well,
No. You're right. It was a grandma. Sorry. I'm thinking of Nalfian as an uncle.
yeah. Nalfian is uncle. He's uncle. Okay, but
Man, that dude is an uncle. That's some real uncle vibes.
he's an uncle to some,
going off
but
the
a
rails.
father to others. And never mind.
All right.
Hi,
Why
Knights
is,
of the
well,
Silver Moon.
why is everything about uncles gotta be weird, dude?
No, it wasn't about uncle.
Why do you guys keep going?
Fine.
We can just
I was
move
just
on.
gonna say he's an uncle to some.
You don't have
a
to say
father,
it. You
and,
don't have to-
and then I was gonna say a daddy to select few.
Yeah, no, we knew
okay?
what you were going
All
to
right,
say.
That's what I
Alright.
was gonna say.
All right.
Listen,
You don't have to
Alfie in
finish
the
the
last
sentence.
session, he was had no shirt on, super sweaty because he just woke up, and he was like,
I
"Guys,
know.
I
It was
had this
daddy for
dream."
sure.
I'm so glad people joined this chat at the exact moment they did.
Knights of the Silver Moon, I came. You're not the only one. All right. So,
I just,
all right.
Nice.
I'm so sorry. Okay,
Nice.
let's move on to romance.
yes.
Carousella
Romance.
Perfect
And we
segue.
and Alton.
Oh,
This
love this.
one of the
This is the
unexpected, one of the unexpected sleeper romances of the campaigns, and hot take, one of my favorites. It is just because it was so unexpected, like with Poe and Cecily, like that was something that kind of grew, but like I mean, you when the campaign starts, it's like okay, the two teenagers. The two that are not a dragonborn, like, okay,
Right.
something, you got the bad girl and the good boy, that's probably going to go somewhere. Zevran's point of him being introduced into Isles is his mom wanted him to like be sweet on Lila and make a connection there because she knew that her son was a handsome young man and wanted to try and get in with the Tatiana family. And, Rianne and Everin, that was something that Kayla and I talked about and something we wanted to do. Alton and Carousella was so sweet because it was so genuine. It was just like,
Yes.
it was like
yes.
that.
From the first moment they saw each other, because she was the only one who like saw him in the Underdark, and they like
That's
made eye
right.
contact, and he was like, "Ian, like, get over here, girl. You can bring your friends too, but
Yeah.
you in particular."
And he'd never heard music before, and that's
Yes, I know that breaks me. Anyway,
all right.
let's watch it.
Yeah, watch it.
Over and just like quietly say to her in her
All
ear,
the birds.
Alton's never heard music before. Do with that what you want. Just sipping your cup. And so
Yeah, Ajax was there
your
sipping his tea.
Yeah, she would have, before Bianca just leaned away, immediately would have responded with, "Don't see why that would be information that you would feel needed to point out to me, but I really appreciated it."
I love under
And
duress
she will-
Carousella.
Yeah.
Under
rare.
duress Gemma.
Under duress Gemma, yeah.
That's less rare.
Something's beautiful. Are we not under a tree? Like, is it not shaded?
You are, but it's still daytime. Like it's still just because it's
Oh,
shaded,
man.
there's still sun. So he's
Under
not
a
as
tree.
he's not as in pain, but he's still squinting. It's still daylight
That's so
outside.
dumb.
He's
Can I
lived in a
cast
cave his
darkness?
entire life.
on his
Wait, don't cast
Really
darkness.
after meet all the meetings and stuff, surely it's got to be getting into like evening, so he cannot be just straining the whole time.
Yeah, okay. We'll say the sun is starting.
Did we
to
get him a
set.
sun
There is
hat?
There is a
Some
I
point.
think after this.
there
I
is
think
a
it's
Maybe.
golden hue. There's clouds all around it. It's starting to move across and cover up. Pinks and golds and blues all over the sky.
The loud sipping noises really set
Refuse
the
to let
mood.
Judge Alton kind of he takes off the hat. Oh, he had the hat on. Sets it down next to him.
Oh,
and
he
kinda
did.
like
Nice. There we
blinks.
go.
That's better.
Well, I feel like you've got to be able to get used to it at some point. I know others have been able to.
It's a good problem to have, honestly.
Not sure not being able to see completely is, but alright.
Well, I more so meant
being able to not see because I'm in the sunlight?
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Logic.
So this is this overworld, like talking just to Carasilla, not talking to anybody else? Is this just?
I like to imagine they're like awkwardly across from each other, you know?
yeah, they're not
all
next
just-
to each other for sure.
Cecily's just between the two, just like
Is this
You go curse fucking combos.
is this overworld food?
I mean, it's not from the Underdark. Tell you that much.
No.
I like
The answer is yes.
Oh, thank you, Ajax.
the rest of our faces were
He's
just
like,
like,
oh, you're here
yeah.
too.
No
more
shit.
stuff, but you know, it is some of it.
Oh, you see him? He just picked up a piece of cheese and like bit into it.
Oh, maybe
Ah,
I think
that was not
You
good.
Try
might-
some jerky.
yeah. Try some of this. I don't know if that's something. It's something my dad likes, so I don't know if that helps.
There's something about like just Ajax saying a short sentence that's really funny. I got some jerky.
That's better.
Okay.
Well, if you're not gonna
Back to
finish
Saga.
that little cheese,
Ajax is only here for comedic relief.
Ew. It's like an abundance.
Turned into a dolphin there.
Cheese he ate.
yeah, Cecily doesn't believe in food waste.
Lord. Believe in germs at least, please.
Germ theory doesn't exist yet. This is medieval times.
Got my asthma. Okay, that's fine.
Plus, Sunni has cure
Um.
disease, so
Sunni can cure my stomach.
Okay, I wonder if we skip ahead just a bit. Any type of rhythmic pounding just because of the animals that it can attract. Most things use fuck, Joe can't think of the word. Echolocation.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Most
That's some
creatures
DMing
use
right there.
echolocation due to their blind nature.
Tip for
So
DMs. It's
making
okay to
any
do
type
that
of
every once in a
noise
while.
Is
Just not all the time.
They make a sound that I can't describe because it's simply not describable.
Yeah, it's okay to do that. Just don't do it all the time.
So, no.
Would you be interested in?
Oh, yes, I would love to hear some music.
The moment. This is a good one.
Didn't necessarily say to hear music, because I think, especially if you
I
haven't
was-
before, I have a better idea.
I got confused by the chat again. I was like,
Yeah.
Ryan?
She will get up, and actually move over to where he is. That is if you're willing to trust me on something.
Oh,
Ooh.
They're sitting next to each other.
Sure. Sure.
In that case,
Alton is the ladies' man.
firstly, like
Years of being abused by matrons here.
By
Um,
women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
He's had all
take
that
off the strap for
practice.
a hurdy-gurdy, and just like prop it right ways up, so like
Hey,
where the
babe, let me
neck
show you how
and
to
the head
golf.
and
That's
the
what
actual,
this
like,
is right
carved
now.
head is kind of like standing, and she's gonna have like her head like right next to it. And like hands around like the body of his wrist, like it's its shoulders. I'd like to more formally introduce you to a very dear friend of mine named
Aw.
Harriet Gertrude.
Heritor Gertrude.
You named your instrument.
I did not name it. It was a name that was already given to her, but I've grown quite fond of it.
So
And
cute, Gemma. I love your little
like I said,
lore spices.
if you're willing to trust me.
Cute as fuck.
She'll just kind of gesture it towards where he is. All it needs to do is sit in a lap. I'm not going to ask you to play anything right from the get-go. That's not how that works. But
Mhm.
if you would just place your hand like this over the crank, and she'll kind of like grab it and put it on there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is turn it.
Like,
Just like
I can't contain it. This is the
begins to
cutest.
slowly-
It's my favorite ship. Sorry. Like,
Steady like you would with a breath.
too cute.
Over, down, over, down. Good. And then she will kind of swivel herself around.
we're all
And
still there, by the way. Just for-
Yeah.
we're all
It's
still
so
there.
funny.
We're just all just.
Eating
And
cheese.
she will just
Is it weird if I talk right now?
start just forming little chords with the keys, just to give it a little bit more. And just play something a little simple, you know. It's not that hard, is it? But there's also, I
Pretty sure
suppose,
there's
more
also
of
carousels
the
motif in the
benefits of
background.
simpler things that allow for a bit more of augmentation. And she kind of just like start to add little flourishes to what she's doing. And I suppose the reason why I feel this is the best way is because music isn't exactly meant to be something that's just heard. It is meant to be something that is shared, like a language. Can't exactly have words all to yourself.
That's beautiful.
And can also add in a few more things. And she has one hand playing the keys. And with that spare hand, she is going to reach over and grab onto where his hand is on the crank, have her hand over, and start just doing it so it has a little like trumpets for the hurdy-gurdy. Adds that kind of like percussive element to it. And she will just start to get into something just a little bit more complicated, still keeping his hand on the crank though.
You can see he is
And-
fully enamored and enraptured in what you're doing. He's lingering on every single word.
Yeah.
It was a very, very, very sweet moment, and it was so just organic in such
Y'all
a
know that pottery scene in Ghost?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Eggs.
All right.
Good job, Gemma.
Yeah,
I wish
fantastic
you were
job,
here.
Gemma. Oh my goodness.
You'll be back next week.
Yep. Oh, farewell, farewell, farewell. Organic is a word. True. Very true. All right. So I think with that, we've answered almost all the we almost watched all of the clips. There's one we're not going to watch just because that's such a sweet note to end on. And I don't think we need to relive the Thor interrogation scene. I think that's okay. So with that, let's go ahead and go into these rapid fire questions real quick. And then that'll be where we go ahead and finish out the party thoughts. So, we have a few of these here. We're going to start from the bottom and move up to the top. Felicity, first things first, do you miss using your gun?
I mean, no, it's okay. Me or Bianca? Bianca doesn't miss it either because of the everything attached to it and the whole like people could get hurt, and it feels like our character just was moving a different direction and going back to her roots. But no, I don't miss the gun. The bow is really cool. So
I guess it's okay when the thing that it is replaced with is cooler.
The only character
Yeah.
in all of the campaigns to think a bow is cool.
I mean, the gun was very cool, especially early on, but it feels like her character, it was part of like the whole maturing process, and it feels more
Yeah.
regal, the choice that she made to step away. It feels like she's really evolved and come into her own now. Like, I feel like the gun was her still trying to find her identity, and now that she's got the bow, it's like she's coming to her own.
Okay, cool. Also, thank you, Furby, for the gifted sub. That was so nice of you. You are too kind, my good man. Felicity, next question is for you. How much does Bianca hate ice and snow now?
She doesn't, because she's immune to frost damage.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the short answer. I could go into long about all of the like implications of the ice and the polar plunge and everything. But like, no, I think it just as a person, despite the immunity to frost damage, like she doesn't blame things that are used in evil ways as part of her neutral alignment. So like she never hated fire, and she's been like when she was like trying to get her soul back and the whole like devil demon own thing, like she understood its purpose and its use, just like ice and snow. It's like just because someone evil used it and tainted it doesn't mean it's bad in itself. So no, she doesn't have any particular feelings towards that anyway.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Mark, when are Cecily and Ajax going to talk about dying and being orphans? Because that is something that both of them share.
Yeah, balls in your court, man. It was kind of hard to talk about it for. Yeah, I mean, well, listen, I mean, she wasn't gonna try to bring it up when you were a skeleton. Like, you had a lot going on. But
true.
yeah, no, I think that is a big touch point for them now, and I think Cecily is, at a point in her arc and at a point in maturity where she can handle talking about that. So, I do also, John, have a roleplay conversation that I think Ajax would be the best candidate for. That's not quite related to either of those things, but so maybe that'll be a catalyst. Could even happen next session after Poe's out of here.
Heck yeah,
bring it.
All right, Mark. Next question for you. Now that Tyr is back, is Cecily going to start gardening more?
Yes.
All right.
I'll elaborate. I think. Like that clip you showed. I'm glad you pulled that up because I totally forgot I said that. But she, so her middle mom, Daenerys, was a gardener. Now Tyr's a gardener. And early on in the campaign, Freya referred to Poe as a weed in the garden. Or like not as an insult or anything, but like that metaphor was brought up.
Yeah.
Of like him being ill fit in the garden. So not only has she always liked gardening and reconnecting with that part of her past with Tyr has been really nice, I think it's also just like the central metaphor of her life at this point. That like she needs to learn, like she was something that only was allowed to grow because a bunch of people were very patient and caring with her. And didn't expect anything in return, and now she has to do that to the world. She has to just find seeds and be patient and caring with them, and then not go into it with the mindset that, like, you are going to give me yield, like I'm going to take something from you when this is done, just to create something new. And then those things will create something new, and on and on. And so she's definitely going to garden more, and I think that might even mean, metaphorically, I think by the time she reaches adulthood, she might be caring for children, or teaching, or something like that, to kind of further that philosophy of just passing on care into the world.
Okay. No, I love that. I do. I really love that a lot for Cecily, especially in that sort of end game epilogue area. All right. For me, did I anticipate anyone dying in the Ivanna fight? It was a hard fight, and you guys were kind of pressed for resources. I thought it was very, very, very likely. And when I saw how low Ajax was, and I knew how high Ivanna's spelled save DC was, I mean, by the time we got to the end of the fight, I was pretty sure somebody was going to die. And when Bianca, like, blew up, with the spear and the shield, I was like, I mean, more than one person, goddamn.
All of them. But
I wasn't planning on it. Like, I didn't go into it saying I'm gonna kill a player character. It was like, this is really likely. I thought it was more likely for somebody to die in that fight than in the fight against the Driders and the mages, so
that was heinous. That's what that was.
What do I know? Rookie DM, I guess.
Can I just say one thing to all you players out there, and even DMs? Make sure you check your resistances.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ajax would not have died in that moment had John reading comprehension again.
Yeah. All full circle now. Full
An
circle.
entire character arc happened because you didn't read your sheet.
Yeah, I was.
Literally on your Yu-Gi-Oh card, your weakness is reading comprehension.
Yeah. Ajax is resistant to necrotic damage because of one of his items, and he would have survived had I been able to read.
That's
But no.
horrible. I'm gonna pretend I never knew that.
But it was worth it. Thanks, reading comprehension.
Next question. Why did you feel the need to be so effective with an ice wall? Because I wanted you to fail. Who was the skeleton boy that pushed us off the cliff in the Underdark? He is the leader of the Syndicate. The Syndicate is a group of people that is an actual secret organization. Not like the type that's like, we're a secret organization. You know, not that type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like an actual
yeah.
secret worldwide organization, like an Illuminati light. But they're actually secret, and nobody really knows who they are.
I mean, we know now.
Well, yeah, I guess you do.
Well, we just asked who they are, so kinda.
Yeah, that's true.
So I already got that figured out. That guy was the leader of it, and he is. What I can say is they're not allied with the Dark One. They are not Dark friends. They just were hired for a job. And their job was to detour you from Mayster and to get you away from there. For what purpose? You guys maybe don't know. Maybe you were supposed to die in the Underdark. Maybe you weren't. Maybe something else happened. Who's to say? Consequences. We don't know yet. So that's who that was.
Is that a Key and Peele reference?
Yes, sirree, Bob.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay, just wanted to check.
That is what I'll say about that one. Question for John. Rapid fire. Ajax is a character in the Salamander Coast campaign during this arc that we all experienced together. How cool did Ajax feel when he killed that dragon?
I felt great. Ajax felt amazing. I mean, what can you say about one-shotting a dragon? Literally 100% to 0% in one turn?
That's pretty cool.
I mean, that's the highlight of my entire D&D career. So
Put that on your resume.
Yeah. Fucking amazing. Ajax after that was like, oh, I could do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Bring
Except
it
for
on.
the box.
Except for the
Except
box.
for the box.
Except for Ivanna.
Yeah.
Except for beating death. Reading.
Reading comprehension.
Apparently reading. Yeah.
But everything else, bring on another dragon.
I didn't mean for this to get so dark at the end. Yikes. So, I had an actual. Oh yeah, why did Ajax think it was a good idea to do training outside in negative 50-degree weather with like 50-mile-per-hour winds with Sunni and Cecily?
I don't know if you guys know this. Ajax is a Leonin, and he's got fur. So.
Oh shit.
So, you know, I feel like Ajax is like, I mean, it's chilly, but it's not that chilly. Forgetting that, you know, one of them is a human and the other one has just literal scales. So, I don't know. There's nowhere else best to do it. That's it.
Okay. All right, cool. Sounds good to me. That
So
was all I
at the
was
same
curious
moment where Cecily chopped you in the thigh.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, man.
Wow.
All right. With that, do any one of the three of you have any final thoughts about the Ivanna arc that you would like to share in this faithful moment here, right at the end of our little episode?
My thought, just because it was like a very heavily Bianca thing, was just I really enjoyed the like journey she went on. I know everyone was like, why was Bianca trying to dive so deep into the water? It was her just trying to cope with everything she was dealing with, and she didn't feel ready to take the throne at that time, but she felt she had to. And I just really appreciate everybody being so, like, having her back during this, and now she's ready to have everyone else's back. And she's just in, like, a much better place now, obviously. And I don't know, thank you, Joe, for just, like, the cool, epic... Like, I know we talk a lot about how, like, gritty and dark everything was, but it was all so well done. It was such a grind, and it was really fun. And I just really did not expect Bianca's journey to take this route at all, but wow, what a great ride. And this has just been so fun, and I'm excited to see how things continue to shape up beyond, like, the Old Kingdom.
Okay, awesome. Mark, John?
I'm content.
Okay.
I'll go off of what Felicity just said. The Mayster Ivanna arc. Mwah, chef's kiss. I know that I've started in the Periton one, which was literally the one before this. But man, the twists and turns of this entire arc, all of the things we had to do, I forgot. Like bringing it up and talking about it again. I was like, damn, this is the arc we were in the Underdark. This is the arc where we had to deal with, like, we were in Mayster for like what, almost a month. We had to go send troops out to different sections on the map and war plan, and then the siege. Like, man, this arc was a roller coaster and a great one. And I commend you, Joe. I mean, every session is beautiful and amazing and great.
Thank you so much.
I just like that my character finally died, so thank you.
And then routinely was brought back in the worst possible way.
And was undead.
Yeah. No, the Ivanna arc, I think, has been one of my favorite to DM because it has a lot of the feelings in the Lord of the Rings that I loved so much, right? That, like, seemingly unbeatable evil entity locked away in a keep that seems untouchable. A group of heroes that have almost abandoned hope, almost, right? Where they seem on all sides they're falling apart, right? Remember, in Mayster, they had to have, like, watchtowers because portals could open up inside the city and icy demons would fall through. And that was, like, a constant fear for them. So I really loved a lot of how you guys approached each situation, and you really felt like seasoned heroes in this arc. You had done so much, you had saved so many people, a lot of it thankless too, because of the situation you'd been in. And now you're finally in a position where people are thanking you routinely. You've been around the block, you've done so much, and it made you like seasoned national heroes for so many people in Balaclara and beyond. And I'm excited for what that means for Atarashi and moving into Atarashi and how it's currently developing, because the Atarashi arc is the transition from, you know, national heroes, regional heroes to worldwide heroes. Like, what happens? And you guys wouldn't have been able to be at this point without the choices you made in Mayster and in the Ivanna arc. So, you know, she was a stepping stone, but a very important one. So with that is the end of Party Thoughts. Thank you all so much for tuning in live today. That was awesome to see. Very much love that. Be sure, if you haven't already, to join our Discord. Go subscribe to Discord. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And keep an eye out on our various social medias, which you can find in the Twitch description below. In March 9th and 10th, we're going to be doing a 24-hour charity live stream where Mark and I, and Felicity will be guest starring every once in a while. Featured, yeah. Special guest.
You're going to actually go enjoy your day.
You guys aren't going to be having fun?
We'll be having fun.
A different kind.
Different kind of fun. It'll be fun for the first 12 hours.
A grueling kind of fun that I've now done many times.
Where we're going to be raising money for a charity called A Kid Again, which is a local charity in the Midwest, where they're like the Make-A-Wish Foundation, but for a lot more families to go on, to go to like theme parks, to get a break from the stress of the medical bills. It's a fantastic foundation, one that I'm very happy that we're supporting. And I'm going to be playing through the entirety of God of War Ragnarok and the Valhalla free DLC expansion. So I did God of War 2018 in, I think, 18 hours. It was like 18 or 19 hours. Valhalla and Ragnarok might be pushing 25. I really think that we might eclipse. And I have a couple of goals already in mind for it. If we reach a certain number, I've already talked to my wife, I might shave my head. So, yeah. Be sure to tune in for that. You don't want to miss
You didn't talk to me. Oh my god.
Joe.
Whoa.
Well, I had to get it cleared
Bo.
with Kayla first, because if she's not okay with it, then I can't do it, because she's the one who's got to look at me every day.
Hey man, I gotta look at you kind of often. You know.
Oh man. Well,
It's fine. Do what you want.
Yes.
Clearly, I changed my hair a lot. We saw.
yeah, over the course of a 6-month period, it's just
Yeah. It's just all over the fucking place.
So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.